The evening was shattered by a scream that tore through the sleepy calm of Willow Creek. Michael Harper, a software engineer and single father, bolted from his home office, heart racing, to find his 12-year-old son, Ethan, frozen in the driveway, basketball in hand. A silver Lexus had just peeled out, its tires screeching, missing Ethan by inches. The driver, a woman with a sharp platinum bob and a glare like a blade, shouted something venomous before vanishing down the street. Michael's relief that Ethan was unharmed quickly turned to fury. He didn't know her yet, but he'd soon learn her name, Lorraine Baxter, the tyrannical president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association. That near miss wasn't just reckless, it was the opening shot in a war that would unravel a neighborhood and land Lorraine in federal court. Willow Creek was Michael's haven. After losing his wife 2 years earlier, he and Ethan moved here for a fresh start. The neighborhood's tidy lawns and quiet streets felt like a balm. Michael worked from home, coding for a tech firm, while Ethan, a quiet kid with a passion for basketball, found solace in dribbling. For Ethan's birthday, Michael installed a portable basketball hoop in their driveway, a simple, movable setup, nothing permanent. Ethan's grin was worth every penny. For a few days, the hoop was their escape, a slice of joy. But in Willow Creek, joy attracted scrutiny. The trouble started the next morning. Michael was sipping coffee when he heard gravel crunch outside. A silver Lexus idled in his driveway, parked so close to the hoop that a stray bounce could have scratched its hood. A woman stepped out, her heels clicking like a metronome. She was in her late 40s, dressed in a crisp blazer, her platinum hair immobile against the breeze. Pointing at the hoop with manicured nails, she said, "This wasn't approved by the HOA." Michael stepped onto the porch, keeping his tone calm. "I'm Michael Harper. And you are?" "Lorraine Baxter, HOA president." Her voice was sharp, authoritative. "This hoop violates community standards. Where's your modification request?" "I read the bylaws," Michael replied. "Portable equipment doesn't need approval." Lorraine's smile was icy. "That's not your decision. Remove it by tomorrow, or it's a due law 100 daily fine." She didn't wait for a response, sliding back in her car and in a cloud of dust. Ethan, watching from the garage, looked crushed. "Dad, do we have to take it down?" "No," Michael said, forcing a smile. "We're in the right." But as Ethan brightened, Michael felt unease settle in. Lorraine wasn't done. The next day, a violation notice was taped to his door, citing unapproved recreational equipment. Michael stayed composed. He photographed the notice, reread the bylaws, and emailed the HOA board a polite rebuttal, including photos of the hoop stored neatly when not in use. 2 board members responded privately, agreeing with him, but their messages carried a warning. Lorraine ruled with an iron fist, and no one crossed her publicly. A week later, the situation escalated. Michael was on a VY-DAO call when the doorbell rang incessantly. He opened the door to find Lorraine, clutching a camera and a bulging folder. "Your fine is now due la $700, she announced, loud enough for his colleagues to hear through the open window. "And I've documented more violations." She began snapping photos of his property, his mailbox, his shrubs, even through his living room window. When Michael stepped outside, asking her to stop photographing his home's interior, she gasped dramatically. "Are you threatening me? I'm conducting official HOA business. Interference means penalties." Michael clenched his jaw but stayed calm. "You have no right to photograph inside my home." Lorraine smirked and marched off. Later, Mrs. Callahan, an elderly neighbor, approached him. "Be careful," she whispered. "Lorraine's ruthless. Last year, she had the Wilsons' fence demolished while they were on vacation, claiming it was unapproved. Their paperwork mysteriously disappeared. The violations piled up, each more absurd. His grass was too tall by a quarter inch, his porch light inconsistent with aesthetic harmony, Ethan's bike in the garage unsightly. Fine soared to due law 2,000 numbers Lorraine had no authority to enforce. Michael had enough. He met secretly with sympathetic board members at a diner, where they confirmed Lorraine's overreach. The board sent her a letter declaring the hoop compliant and voiding all fines. Michael thought it was over. He was wrong. 2 days later, an envelope arrived, stamped with what looked like the state's Department of Child Welfare, DCW seal. The letter inside claimed anonymous reports of neglect at Michael's address, scheduling a home inspection for the next day. It was signed by L. Bennett, senior case manager. Michael's heart sank. As a single father, the idea of someone questioning his care for Ethan was terrifying. But the letter felt oft-depose, a blurry seal. He called the DCW's official number, not the one on the letter, and confirmed his suspicions. No L. Bennett worked there, and no case existed. They urged him to forward the letter to their fraud unit. The next morning, at the exact time listed, Lorraine appeared, wearing a blazer with a badge reading Department of Child Welfare. Her voice was stiffly formal. "Mr. Harper, I'm Laura Bennett. I'm here for the inspection." Michael's security camera was rolling. "Hello, Lorraine," he said evenly. "Impersonating a state official is a felony. I've spoken with DCW. They have no record of you or this case. The police are coming." Lorraine's composure cracked. Her eyes darted, and her voice reverted to its shrill pitch. "This is ridiculous. I'm protecting this neighborhood. That hoop is an eyesore." Her admission, caught on camera, was damning. Minutes later, 2 police cruisers arrived. Michael had called them after verifying the fraud. As officers approached, Lorraine tried to flee, tossing her clipboard into a bush. "Ma'am, we need to talk," an officer said, stopping her. Neighbors gathered, whispering, phones out. Lorraine's protests grew frantic. "I'm safeguarding this community." But when officers found forged DCW documents in her car, her fate was sealed. They cuffed her, reading her rights as she shrieked about misunderstandings. The fallout was swift. At an emergency HOA meeting, the board removed Lorraine and uncovered her embezzlement of due lot $10,000 from association funds for personal expenses, luxury sunglasses, spa trips. Federal charges followed: impersonating a state official, forging documents, mail fraud, and theft. At her trial, Michael testified, presenting the fake letter and footage. Lorraine's polished facade crumbled as the judge sentenced her to 3 years in prison and a due lot $20,000 fine. This wasn't enforcement, the judge said. It was a vendetta. Willow Creek began to recover. The board re-VY said the bylaws to curb presidential power, and Michael's hoop stayed. Ethan's jump shot improved, and neighbors joined driveway games. But Michael never forgot. In the quiet of suburbia, unchecked power could turn a basketball hoop into a battleground. Sometimes, standing firm was the only way to win. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.